Muy bien, chicos, en esta oportunidad vamos a ir a la página 282 para estudiar el imperfecto de subjuntivo. Bien, vamos a ver, dice tabla de tiempos, el modo subjuntivo. El presente perfecto, ya esto es like a review, presente perfecto de subjuntivo, haya hablado, haya comido, haya vivido. Pluscuamperfecto, always subjunctive, hubiera hablado, hubiera comido. Imperfecto del subjuntivo es hablara. That's the way we recognize this tense. Bien, vamos a ver. Acá dice, tenemos the first paragraph is just a reminder for you, no? As you have already seen when practicing the use of the subjunctive in the present perfect, presente perfecto, en capítulo 9, the subjunctive mood is used in the past as well as in the present. Ahora aquí, vamos a ver, let's go straight to the chart, acá. Tenemos formas, how to get the conjugation of the past subjunctive. Tenemos, para AR verbs, pagar, first we're going to go to the preterite. Bien, ellos, ellas, ustedes, tercera persona plural. Pagaron, that's the first step. Once we have pagaron or the third person conjugation plural, the preterite, we're going to attach era. So we get rid of ron, R-O-N, then we attach ere-a, ra. We get pagara. Okay? For the same situation for the rest of the pronouns. Pagara, pagaras, pagara, pagáramos, pagarais y pagaran. Let's take a look at the ER verb. Same step. We go first to the third person plural preterite. Beber, ellos, ellas, bebieron. Bien, we get rid of the R-O-N as well, and we're going to attach R-A. Bebiera, bebiera. That's what we have left. Bebieras, bebiera, bebiéramos, bebierais y bebieran. Okay, now let's go to the last one. IR verbs. Same thing, we go to the third person plural, bebieron. We get rid of the R-O-N and we also attach R-A. Viviera, vivir becomes viviera. Vivieras, viviera. Yeah. Now we have some irregular subjunctive, past subjunctives like this one. Dar becomes diera. Bien. Decir, dijera. Hacer, hiciera. Ir, fuera. Here, sorry, these are not irregulars. These are just the same situation. Dar, dieron. We get rid of the R-O-N and we attach R-A, diera. Okay, these are just regulars. Bien, so if you remember, for example, the irregularity for some of these verbs are already placed when we go to the first step, which means to go to the third person preterite. Tener, tuvieron, tuvieron is the preterite, but then we apply the rule for the past subjunctive and we end up with tuviera. That's what I meant. These ones in reality in the preterite are irregular, but you just follow the rule for the past subjunctive. Okay, so if you remember perfectly well the irregular preterites, you guys can go to the past subjunctive conjugation in an easier way. Let's go here. There is another set of endings for the imperfect subjunctive, widely used in Spanish, but less so in most parts of the Latin America. So in other words, there is another way to use the past subjunctive. Instead of RA, we attach SE, and it's the same meaning. In other words, we have past subjunctive in two versions, pagase y pagara. Both mean the same thing. It depends on the country and reality in Peru, for example, we use both. I don't really see any difference. Bien, so instead of RA, SE, in the same idea, in the same rules to make the conjugation. Next page, acá tenemos en la página 283 how to use the past subjunctive. Here, now that we know how to conjugate it, we are going to apply how to use them. Acá tenemos, to summarize this paragraph, that if you remember how to use the present subjunctive, you will be able to use the past subjunctive, because in the first clause, we're going to use, when we use present subjunctive, we use the first clause in present. El jefe dice, present tense, que, the link, then vayas. That's the present subjunctive. Vayas. The boss says you to go to his office. Now, if we move the first clause to the past tense, in this case, the preterite, we need to move the other verb to the past subjunctive. That's all we need to do. El jefe dijo que fueras a su oficina. The boss said you to go to the office, to his office. The first one is in present and the second one is in past tense, both clauses. That's all you need to do. Now, in noun clauses, this is an example. In adjective clauses, busco a alguien que pueda ayudarme in the present tense. I'm looking for someone who can help me. In the past tense, buscaba. Yeah, you can say buscaba using the imperfect or the preterite also. Buscaba a alguien que pudiera, past subjunctive, ayudarme. I was looking for someone who could help me. That's when we use the past subjunctive. You can use in noun clauses or adjective clauses. Also in adverbial clauses, like here. No haré nada hasta que la jefa me dé el visto bueno. This is a present tense. No haré. The first clause is we're using in the future. That's okay. No haré nada hasta que la jefa me dé el visto bueno. I won't do anything until the boss give me the go ahead. Okay, so now the second one is no iba a hacer nada. Past tense, in this case, we're going to use the imperfect. It's part of the past tense. No iba a hacer nada hasta que la jefa me diera el visto bueno. I wasn't going to do anything until the boss gave me the go ahead. Diera, past subjunctive. So the first rule is any clause, any main clause that you use in the past requires the past subjunctive also in the past subjunctive. Bien, present, past, past. That's the main idea. Next, vamos a ver el siguiente uso. Acá tenemos. Sometimes, even if you have the first clause in the present tense, the situation will ask you to use the other clause in the past subjunctive. For example, lamento que no te estés divirtiendo mucho esta noche. I regret that you are not having much fun tonight. Esta noche, tonight, is telling you that we're talking about the present. But what happened here? Lamento que no te divirtieras mucho anoche, last night. So if you know that this sentence is talking about last night, even though the first clause is in present, lamento, we need to use the other clause with a subjunctive in the past. Divirtieras. Why? Because we're talking about last night. Bien. At this moment, I regret that you didn't have much fun last night. Bien. That's the idea. Another situation. Busco a alguien que estuviera allí cuando ocurrió el accidente. I am looking for someone who was there when the accident happened. Because I'm talking about the accident that happened already, that's where I'm using here the past subjunctive. But at the moment, I'm looking for someone who was there. Bien? And here also, you can use the present tense because at the moment you're looking for someone who was there, or you can say buscaba a alguien que estuviera allí. I was looking for someone who was there when the accident happened. Either or makes sense. It depends of the situation. Okay, and here the last rule is como si. Any situation that you find this expression como si, as if, requires the imperfect subjunctive. For example, imperfect or past subjunctive is the same. Bien, for example, Juan hablaba español como si fuera nativo. John speaks Spanish as if he were a native speaker. No me trates como si no me conocieras. Don't treat me as if you didn't know me. Conocieras, past subjunctive, because we have the como si. Bien. Ok, vamos a ver abajo. Tenemos notas lingüísticas aquí. This is a little grammar box. For courtesy, we use also the past subjunctive with these verbs, querer, poder, and deber. Bien. And here we have examples. Quisiera hablar con usted un momento. Querer, you use the past subjunctive, quisiera hablar con usted un momento. This is a really polite way to ask. I would like to speak to you for a moment. Pudiera, same thing. Pudiera decirme la hora. Could you tell me, please, tell me the time? When you use pudiera, the please is implied. It's a very polite way to ask for something. Debieras tomarte unas vacaciones. You should take a vacation in a very polite way. The second situation is for wishes. The imperfect subjunctive is used in wishes expressions. And normally, when the situation is unlikely or impossible. Always with ojalá or the expression quien. For example, ojalá que pudieras venir esta noche. I wish you could come tonight. Yeah, ojalá que. Or you can use, just get rid of the que. Also, ojalá pudieras venir esta noche. ¿Quién? ¿Quién? Imperfecto del subjuntivo. ¿Quién pudiera volar? I wish I could fly. ¿Quién pudiera volar? Imperfect subjunctive. ¿Quién supiera lo que va a pasar en el futuro? I wish I knew what is going to happen in the future. Bien, for those situations, courtesy and wishes. Okay, chicos, that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.